A very good morning, dear students. I hope all of you are doing well and taking all necessary precautions to keep yourself safe from the COVID 19. In this video lecture, I am going to start with a new topic, that of AC circuits, and we are going to basically learn about phasors, that is, how complex quantities in AC circuits can be expressed as coplanar vectors called phasors. AC is a short form for alternating current, and in general any current that varies with time is called AC current, and a voltage that varies with time is called AC voltage. A sinusoidal alternating current can be expressed as I equal to I naught sine omega t, and similarly a sinusoidal alternating voltage can be expressed as V equal to V naught sine omega t, where I naught and V naught are the amplitudes or the peak values of the AC current and the AC voltage respectively. Omega is the angular frequency, which can be expressed as 2 pi times f, where f is the frequency and frequency is simply the reciprocal of the time period. If you use an AC voltmeter or an AC ammeter to measure voltage or current, the values that they are going to provide you with are the RMS values of the current or the voltage and the current, and the RMS value of current is simply the peak value of current divided by root 2, which is 0.707 times I naught, and similarly the RMS value of the voltage would be simply the 1 by root 2 times the peak value of the voltage, which is simply 0.707 times V naught. Now let us see how the current and the voltages are related to each other when we apply a voltage to the three passive elements, that is the resistance, the capacitance and the inductance. Let us see firstly the case of the resistance. When we apply an AC voltage, a sinusoidal AC voltage V to a resistance R, so we can express V as equal to V naught sine omega t. The instantaneous current passing through the resistance would be therefore simply equal to V by R according to the Ohm's law, and therefore I can be expressed as V naught sine omega t by R, and therefore it can be expressed as V naught by R sine of omega t. Now the quantity V naught by R can be expressed as I naught, so therefore we get I to be equal to I naught sine omega t, where I naught is simply V naught by R. So what we see here is that the voltage and the current are in the same phase, and when voltage is 0, current is also 0, and when voltage is maximum, current is also maximum. Now let us see the case how the voltage and the current are related to each other when we apply an AC voltage to an inductance. So the voltage again we apply is V naught sine omega t to an inductance having the value L, and if I is the instantaneous current through the inductance, then V will be simply L di by dt, and therefore if we solve it further, we obtain that I will be equal to I naught sine of omega t minus pi by 2. So we see that the maximum current I naught will be simply V naught divided by omega L. So the effective AC resistance, that is the inductive reactance, can be expressed as XL equal to omega L. Unit of inductive reactance is also ohms, and it is higher for greater inductance and greater frequency. So what we see is that the voltage leads the current by 90 degrees. So when basically the voltage becomes maximum, current is still 0. Now let us see how the current and the voltage are related to each other when an AC voltage is applied to a capacitance. again the voltage applied is V naught sin omega t to a capacitance of value C. Now if Q is the instantaneous charge on the capacitor, then Q is equal to CV, and therefore Q will be equal to CV naught sin omega t. And if we solve it further, we obtain the expression that I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. Now here I naught is the maximum current or the current amplitude, and the effective AC resistance that is offered by the capacitor to the flow of current, or the capacitive reactance, is simply Xc is equal to 1 by omega c. It again has the unit of ohms, and it is higher for lower capacitance and lower frequency. So what we see from this expression, I equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2, and the expression for the voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t, that voltage lags the current by 90 degrees. So when current through the capacitor is maximum, the voltage across it is still 0. Now, complex quantities in AC circuits can be added and subtracted just like coplanar vectors. And coplanar vectors, which represent sinusoidally time varying quantities, are known as phasors. So let us suppose XA is the projection of phasor A along the x-axis. You can see it in the diagram given at the bottom. And YA is the projection of phasor A along y-axis. Then the magnitude of phasor A will be simply A equal to under root x A square plus YA square, and the angle between the direction of the phasor and the x-axis will be simply theta inverse YA by XA. Now we define an operator which we call as the J operator, which when applied to a phasor rotates it by 90 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction without changing the phasor's magnitude. So let us consider a phasor A along the x-axis, as can be seen on the figure on the left hand side. Now if we apply the operator J to the phasor A, that is J times A will be a new phasor along the y-axis having the same magnitude as A. And if we apply the J operator again to JA, we get J square A, which will again be a new phasor along the negative x-axis, again having the same magnitude as A. So therefore J square A vector or A phasor will be simply minus or negative of the phasor A, and therefore we get J square to be equal to minus 1, or J equal to simply under root of minus 1, and this J is simply the iota of complex analysis. Now in the Cartesian form, the phasor A can be expressed as small a plus j times b, where small a and small b are the x and the y components of the phasor A. So small a is along the x-axis and small b is along the y-axis. In the polar form, the phasor A can be written as A cos theta plus J A sin theta, because A, small a is simply capital A cos theta, the x component, and small b is simply A sin theta, the y component. So therefore the A vector can be expressed as A times cos theta plus J sin theta. Therefore we can see that cos theta plus J sin theta is an operator which, when applied with a phasor A along the x-axis, rotates it through an angle theta from its initial position. Now if the angle is measured in the clockwise direction from the x-axis, the phasor A can be written as A equal to the A phasor equal to A cos theta plus J square times J A sin theta, or which will be A cos theta minus J A sin theta, or A phasor is simply equal to A times cos theta minus J sin theta. So what we see is that the quantity cos theta minus J sin theta is like an operator that rotates the original phasor through an angle minus theta. The phasor can be expressed also in the exponential form as A phasor is equal to A exponential of plus minus J theta, or which can be expressed as A times cos theta plus minus J sin theta, or simply A angle plus minus theta, where exponential of plus minus J theta is simply cos theta plus minus J sin theta, as can be seen in on the screen. This is the exponential form. Here simply the operator cos theta plus minus J sin theta is expressed as exponential of plus minus J theta. Now on your screen you can see a few rules followed by phasors, which we call as part of the phasor algebra. You can pause the video here and go through the phasor algebra. In the next video lecture, I'll be giving you an idea about the LCR series and the LCR parallel circuits, and how we can use phasor representation of the physical quantities involved in AC circuits to explain these LCR series and parallel circuits. Thank you.